When you picture India, you probably think of its huge, sprawling mainland. But look a little closer. Just off the coast, there are two incredible island worlds out there, each with a completely different story of how it came to be. One was literally built by life, and the other, forged by fire. And here they are. See over there, to the west, scattered like little emeralds in the Arabian Sea? That's the Lakshadweep Islands. And then, way out east in the Bay of Bengal, you've got this long, dramatic chain, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They're part of the same country, but they were born from completely different forces of nature. So, here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at what makes these two island worlds so different. Then, we're off to Lakshadweep to see how tiny creatures can build islands. After that, we'll jump across India to meet the volcanic giants, the Andaman and Nicobar. And finally, we'll see why both are so important as India's guardians of the sea. All right, let's dive right in. The main thing you gotta know is this. Even though they're both Indian island groups, they are worlds apart in how they were made, how big they are, and just their overall character. This really breaks it all down, doesn't it? You've got Lakshadweep over in the Arabian Sea, literally born from living coral, and on the other side of the country, in the Bay of Bengal, the Andamans and Nicobar Islands, which were pushed up by massive geological forces. One is tiny and spread out, the other is this huge, long chain of volcanic peaks. It's a real tale of two opposites. So our first stop is the Lakshadweep Archipelago. The name supposedly means 100,000 islands, which, okay, is a bit of an exaggeration, but it hints at their amazing origin story. One that's not about rock and fire, but about billions of tiny living creatures. And when I say tiny, I really mean it. The total land area of all the islands put together is just 32 square kilometers. That's it! It's this incredibly delicate, small-scale world, which frankly makes the fact that it even exists all the more amazing. So who are the master builders behind these islands? Well, meet the coral polyps. These are microscopic little animals, and they thrive in big colonies in warm, shallow water. And their one big job in life? They secrete calcium carbonate. Think of it like limestone, which builds their skeletons and, eventually, builds entire islands. Now, this isn't a fast process. We're talking thousands upon thousands of years. As countless generations of these polyps live and die, their little calcium carbonate skeletons just pile up, layer after layer after layer. And this slow, steady buildup creates these gigantic underwater structures, reefs, that eventually break the surface of the ocean and become the islands we see today. And this is what that foundation looks like. It's basically a vibrant, sprawling underwater city made of coral. It's the very bedrock of the Lakshadweep Islands. Every single piece of this intricate world was built by those tiny organisms, working for millennia to build a home from the seafloor up. Just incredible. And what you get from this whole unique process is the atoll. It's this absolutely stunning landform, especially from the air. You get these perfect circular or horseshoe-shaped reefs that cradle a beautiful, bright turquoise lagoon. It's the classic signature of a coral island system. Okay, now let's pack our bags and travel all the way across the Indian subcontinent to the Bay of Bengal. Because out here, a totally different kind of island chain is waiting for us, one born from a much more violent and fiery origin story. Right, here's the key. Forget low-lying coral reefs. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are actually the peaks of a massive underwater mountain range. We're talking about geological giants that are part of the same tectonic collision that created the Himalayas. These islands are just the very tips of a huge, hidden world beneath the waves. And you can see that difference in origin just by looking at them. The Andamans and Nicobars are way bigger, there are a lot more of them, and they form this very distinct, long chain, like the spine of a dragon, stretching north to south, tracing that hidden mountain range below. And hey, what's a volcanic mountain range without a volcano, right? Well, this archipelago has one, Barren Island, which is India's only active volcano. It's this constant, fiery reminder of the raw geological power that's still very much alive and kicking in this region. You can just see it in this image, can't you? The land is rugged, it's hilly, and it's covered in this thick, dense forest. These islands don't just gently slope into the water. They burst out of it. They rise sharply from the sea, true mountain peaks. So we have these two completely different sets of islands, one built by life, the other by geology. But here's the thing. Together, they play an absolutely crucial role for India, both for the planet and for the country's security. I mean, the sheer diversity of life here is staggering. On the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, you have these thick, lush equatorial forests just teeming with life. In Lakshadweep, the real treasure is underwater, in those incredibly rich coral reefs. And you even have these special places like Pity Island, which is an uninhabited bird sanctuary. It's just amazing. But their value goes way beyond nature. Their location, right in the middle of the Indian Ocean, makes them incredibly important strategically. Think of them as India's unsinkable aircraft carriers. They extend the country's reach and allow it to keep an eye on some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. It's almost like the islands are the final missing piece in India's big geographical puzzle. Just like the Himalayas give water and the northern plains give food, these islands are the country's gateway to the sea. They're the hubs for fishing, for ports, and for connecting India to the rest of the world. So that leaves us with this one big, important question. These islands, from the fragile coral atolls to the rugged volcanic peaks, are both precious ecosystems and vital national assets. The real challenge, then, is how do we tap into their potential for the future while making absolutely sure we protect these irreplaceable natural treasures for all the generations to come?